Okay, I guess this is part two. I'm talking about Mr. Kevin Samuels' early departure. And so I was just talking about the writing on the wall. We got no gas, and the United States government refused to buy it from us. Right next door. The best deal ever we could have got it. No, but we made a great deal with China for 100 years. So they're buying our gas. So all this stuff that, we're finding out to keep Mexico, in the gutter, eternally poor. We was left after 70 years of the Monroe Doctrine, which is the one that they base themselves, this manifest destiny that they need to control the entire continent from here. It's serious stuff. So I'm trying to earn some protection from somebody. There is a young African American man I accidentally became involved with more than 5 years ago. And I tell him, I'm his side chick. He says, you got the side chick first, if anything. But it's been a learning experience for me. He was my first one. That he saw me for who I am, and that was that was my first like a flirt. He made me smile to see him, make me smile to see him. Well, he got serious problems. I just recently found out he got diabetes at 37. I don't know if he was born with it. He don't like to talk about that. And a lot of times that's also because, the diet don't improve. I'm talking about across the board. In Mexico, we're still eating a lot of garbage. About like 3 years ago, I started following a little bit Dr. Sebi, doing harm reduction, eating less starch, more CMOS. Sorry, it's gross, I'm sorry. Have not been able to get him to change. I worry about him. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, Mr. Kevin Samuels, is because I feel like I identify with him. Because I started watching a little bit of Vlad the Impaler interview. He put it up again, I guess it's like right away to make $1, Neanderthalism. It's all about the dollar, So I learned he had only had one child. I know I don't have any children because I fear turning like my mother. And I said, this is going to stop with me. This bullshit that she used to beat me up every day, that she's just like, just crazy. And my mom is really pale. I mean, she's a mulata. She got, it's a whole spectrum in the family, from beautiful hair to limp hair like mine's, from narrow nose that cannot even breathe to the broad nose and full lips, It's the whole thing. That's what we are. We are your children, and always putting like, oh, POC this, POC that. Well, maybe it got to change from the top. It got to change from, from those who are richly colored, melanated, the original men and women. You got to change that machinery that, because they go and all they do, like I was watching the alleged friend Kevin Samuels was with, which attorney Sperling denied it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think attorney Sperling denied it, that it was not her. And it was some African woman with limp hair like mine, And the moment that you speak, this, Latin American language, which is not Spanish, then immediately, automatically, we turn into your enemies, right? But you gotta question that. Why you wanna be so terminally unique that nobody can understand you, nobody can comprehend you, when we know now that everything is in the blood? They have that science too, that what's it called, epigenetics. I gotta get up, I cannot stay sitting on that long, sorry. The epigenetics, everything is right there. And I have never done any DNA testing because, I feel like that's kind of creepy. That shit's kind of creepy, because, I don't know, they're putting it in a bank. I know they already got it because it's so easy. It's so easy. Like over here in New York City, they exposed the NYPD grabbing samples of DNA from African American men. And nothing happened because African American women, they were supposed to be like marching and say, hey, we want this to stop. And as a result, this young African American man is in jail, blamed for some killing of some Becky in Coney Island, on Brighton Beach. I think Brighton Beach. Horrible. I think about this young man. Like nobody cared about him. He wasn't. It looked like it was. The way that they killed her, it was very like a passion crime. Like she double-crossed somebody. I tell you that much. But a young African American man got blamed for it, and African American women are okay with that. Sometimes they are even celebrating, like this woman I just saw. I didn't even finish telling you about this Chrissy. She started reading this piece, which she thought it was superb writing, and it was just some bullshit. But at one point, this Chrissy, whatever, said that don't allow to be shamed. And it's like, that's how delusional we are, because there's a lot of people that we all know, they are shameless. So I don't think Kevin Samuel was going to waste his time trying to shame African American women. He just spoke, from his own experience. And attorney Sperling said that Kevin Samuels was a very successful man. He got to make millions of dollars, accumulate millions of dollars, and he was very required everything as a consultant. He was a lead consultant to the elites, and he was extremely successful. Not in the red, like most African American women. They're operating in the red. Dead. Yeah, with some impressive college degrees. But what good is that? As they say, there's no way out of debt. There's no way out of debt. You can file bankruptcy, whatever, the student loans, I'm sure, So I am grateful about my friend. I am grateful. I tell him every time I'm grateful to have him in my life. He's the one watching my cats and my birds. He texted me last night that everybody was okay. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. It's like I've been here since Tuesday morning, early in the morning. So I've been here till in the morning. So I'm glad that he's doing it. Well, he don't owe me nothing. I'm 57. I'm like, I'll be ridiculous. I'm 20 years older. 30. He's like 37, 38. What did they say? Yeah, 20 years older. What he, gonna get from me. But I understand he don't want to get involved because he kind of know, and he's scared. And he never told me that he's scared of African American women, because if he's probably seen a lot. He never really talked much about anything. We had our good times. We have our good times, and he liked to make dinner. Love to eat. And I feel honored. I feel great. I say and he tried to say because I don't ask nothing from him. I'm like, no, just let me pay my own way and even his way, because the age difference, and this is because of people like especially Dr. Curry. I'm forgetting Dr. Curry, Dr. Tommy Curry, Dr. Hassan. That I did not really know what men was going through. I did not know what men are going through. And in Mexico, it's a different culture, I guess, different situation, but there's some men that actually the only visitor that came to see me from my home country, he's a hopeless simp. And I talked to him, why you you do all this for everybody, even for me. He came, he brought me stuff, and when they don't have to. A lot of men, they know that they don't have to, because their protection is more than enough already. I say, they see, this big, strong black man coming into my house. Don't you think that protect me? I tell my friend. They seen him coming for 5 years. Nobody mess with me. Nobody mess with me. And I cannot pay that to him. I'm not going to be going oh my God, let's get married, whatever, it's like delusional. I'm not going to take his life away from him. I always tell him, you got to get yourself a couple of girlfriends so you can start practicing and stuff. But, he got 2 or 3 jobs right now, because he was in the system. And almost 2 years ago, it's going to be almost 2 years ago that he finished the whole probation. So it's very hard on him. It's very hard, now, and he see how the money just go away. The money just go away so fast. So, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, I already said that. Yeah, I said that, I identify with Kevin Samuels because he just, and Attorney Sperling confirmed it. And that was heartbreaking, that he was hoping now he started healing, from the relationships he had, probably his mother, I don't know. If it's not one thing, it's your mother, right? So, but he did not feel safe to get married again. And he had already started, to have hope again that one day he was gonna start a family and get married like normal people. But I feel like he did, like myself, I don't feel like normal people, because, you know, it's sad, but it is proof that, everything that we eat, everything that we drink, it is designed to kill or to neutralize. I think it's better that he died instead of becoming, paralyzed. He made the best with whatever little that he had. I didn't know he was a cancer survivor. He got cancer in his 20s. So, I mean, that's to me something that, wow. I mean, like, as a Mexican, of course, I love tortillas. And we normally eat tortillas every day, but I gotta stay away from those things for a long time. Because it's so easy to poison us, because they know what we like. Like I always tell them, buy another beer. Don't buy the beer that they know you're gonna buy, because all that is poison. All that is poison, I mean, like, everything is like, to destroy the melanin, to destroy the mind, and to get you sick. I mean, like, you go in the Bronx, they're younger than me, and they're with a walker every day, with a scooter. It's crazy. It is crazy, like younger than me. Last year in the program, it was like more than 25, I think, African Americans died. And it was from diabetes and blood pressure. My good friend Quincy, he was the one who worked at the front desk. I miss him so much because he was always walk in, give me a big smile. And he was a hero to his family, of course. He was taking care of his mom and his sisters and his everything. He was a big man. And it's just like, he just went like this. He went into a coma, diabetic coma. And we're stuck with this attention horse. That's what it is. It's like constantly, Anyway, I'm gonna cut it off because now I'm only allowed to record 25 minutes, I think. Any gadget that I buy, I want to make videos longer than that, and it just cut me off. But it's still recording. Every gadget, 25. Sometimes what it do is just, it allow me to go 3 hours recording, and when I finish recording, it cut them off into 25-minute videos. I find so angering, so irritating. But let me show you a little bit before I go. Ever since I got here, it's been cloudy. Well, there was one day that the sun came out a little bit. I mean, but it's May. It's May, so it's to be expected. It's beautiful over here with all the trees, But they say Long Island is so expensive. Anyway, Rising Power King, Kevin Samuels, like, I'm not gonna front and say I was a big fan, but, I did not understand you, especially at first. I did not understand you, like, so I've never used to seeing men like you. But I have to understand that's also misandry. That's also misandry. that we want men to just like, look a certain way, and they are not gay, but they're just a certain way, just. And sure enough, he was raised by a single woman. It's like, uh, I don't know, sometimes I go around and anybody that I met, any man that I met, like, I mean, like in Mexico, we still, they was probably married, the parents was married, but the father is a simp. Like in my family, my mom, she was the one who had the last word. My mom had the last word, and Mommy, I'm sorry, Dad. And it was horrible. I don't know. Maybe if my father was different. No, because it's sad for me to say this, but he felt like he got a woman with white skin, and he was already accomplished. But we all have believed their lies in one way or another. We all believe their lies. So it's not fair to say. I mean, in the future, now that we know, and we're still like obsessed, I mean, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine because, it was awkward. It was awkward when my father used to take us to the city. People was looking at us, you know, because, my mom never let me get in the sun. I only started getting in the sun like 10 years ago because she said, it's like, you're going to get cancer. So I was even more pale. And my dad, and like, so I felt like, it's weird. It's weird, like, but the question is, why a man want to have children that don't remind him of his own mother? Why some men want to have children that don't remind them of his own mother? That is the real question. I don't know. Later.